we shouldn't be worried that the budget is 84, because as the professor here said, Musasizi will never collect the money. Sometimes even the money he intends to borrow, he will not find it, or he will find it but it's very expensive, he will not borrow. 2023, 2024, I think the budget was 71, it eventually went to 78, but the actual spending was 63 trillion. Nearly 15 trillion, they never had the money. So it was just a wish list. It's like having a wedding. You want a limousine, you want 20 cows, but you salute a goat. So the wedding will go ahead, because that's what is available. But nobody will stop you from listing things that you want. And that's what Musasizi is doing. The things he wants, he draws a list and the cartoons and everything, but he will not get the money, and he knows it. But that's human, that you start by so they will never get but they have never. This particular one that you're talking about that ends in June, by half year URA has collected 16 trillion. The target half year was supposed to have been 17. They have done very well to collect 16. With the elections and everything, it will be a miracle that they will go beyond 32 trillion collection. Even the borrowing, as I said, sometimes Musasizi and his team will go to both the international market here and the money is not there. They will exhaust the money here and then get Ugandan banks to go and arrange money from outside. Sometimes so it's that the realistic budget, the question you have asked, I don't think it's a budget that will go beyond 64, 65. That should be realistic, but even that, we will not be able to raise it. But for me, the argument that the professor makes is an interesting one. The NRM, I think, is more concerned with politics than the welfare. Once they have sorted the politics, everybody sees himself in the budget, even if you will never get the money, it is okay. I was reading a report, it must have been either by the World Bank. The World Bank argues that globally, when you invest in infrastructure, the return will be a ratio of $6 to $1 for every investment you make in the infrastructure. That when you invest $1, the return will be 6. For Uganda, the return is 0.8. So that report of World Bank, I was wondering why. And there are examples to give. I was looking at the report of the Auditor General. The Auditor General looks at 22 companies in which government has invested about 1.3 trillion through Uganda Development Corporation. 22 companies, specifically looking at 10. We've invested 1.3 trillion. Those companies, the 10 have neither paid interest, neither paid the principal. They are not working. And that's because the NRM, once they make a decision that they will invest in this company, even if it fails, they will die with it. The other day I saw proposals, this one guy of Ntungam of coffee, that now he wants a runway. And I am told they discovered later that the smell, the aroma of coffee, if you're going to be transporting coffee from Ntungam to Europe, by the time it reaches there, the smell is gone. But that they are not telling you.
And possible also the cafe.
Yeah, so they are now telling you they want a runway to begin frying coffee. Did they know these fellows that, because they tell you Germany is the biggest exporter of coffee, they don't process. They just buy and sell. For you in Uganda here, the point that Professor was making, you must choose between a bed and a mattress. 22 companies in which Musasizi is investing money through UDC, their no return. They're not even paying because we are lending money. We were with him in the Committee on Finance. PDM, this is the 4th year. So far, Musasizi has put about 3.4 trillion in PDM. The policy is that after 24 months, the first trillion that you invested there, it should be repaid and it begins revolving. Musasizi and his team told us they have what has been paid is 1.4 billion.
What?
Yes. The Auditor General says 9 billion. Where the NRMPs are very interesting. I told the Honorable Kate Shumba, he made very good arguments in the committee. He said, you see, if PDM is working, there should be a corresponding rise in at least indirect taxes that we are correcting. You put money in people's hands, if that was the objective. They must now begin consuming sugar, fuel, what, and then you bring taxes. But the presentation that was made by URA, the domestic taxes are going down. Instead, it is international trade tax that are going up. So which means the economy is not, there is something wrong with the economy. So the way the NRM budgets, they are budgeting to do politics. They are more interested. I told the president one time we were on a talk show and I told him when you came here, Uganda was a project along with the way you became the project. So we invest so much in keeping you in power than investing so much to get people out of poverty. All the reports that you read, they are very stressful and I respect them as who are in government. I read the National Planning Authority and they tell you we have 15.8 million Ugandans of working age, 13 point something are in the private sector, 78% of them are in vulnerable jobs. If you look at the figures, they are earning less than 150 a month. And for them, when they are giving you figures of jobs, they are going to count everybody, including someone who works in a factory and is paid 5,000 a day. They will say now manufacturing is working. We have 2.8 million jobs there. But the million jobs, there are these women in my constituency. So and you look at the companies, they keep bringing them back. I asked when we visited Kira Motors, Musasizi has given them more money in the budget. Because I told them, be honest. If you want to assemble vehicles, don't pretend that you are manufacturing. Because you create pressure on yourself unnecessarily. I was in Ethiopia. Ethiopia, the military assembles vehicles. And I asked them how much of the local raw material that you are putting in this vehicle. They told me we are now at 20%. Our target is about 38%. So I asked Kira Motors, tell me the percentage of raw material you are buying here to put in your vehicle. They told me bamboo tree. Everything else is coming from somewhere else. And Musasizi, with his boss, they will tell him, Kira Motors is doing very well. We want to sell vehicles to Nigeria. He said, what start with the Ugandan economy? No, Uganda cases said we want 500, but they have got another supplier. So these things are good when you are presenting them to the audience that Uganda is growing. We are even manufacturing vehicles, even if you are importing them and just putting a paint and you write made in Uganda. I was reading one more report on agriculture, I think either by IMF, and they're telling you if you want to grow agriculture where you have 78% of the population, because the minister speaks about the priorities, agro-processing. So what are you going to agro-process? Irrigation in Uganda is at 1%. Irrigation. So what are they agro-processing? They started a factory, a fruit factory in Soroti. They were importing mangoes from Kenya. Because they have not invested the way they are supposed to invest, they just throw money around to ordinary people, they go and drink it. You did the report of Otajan about PDM. Irrigation at 1%, 4% people who are using improved seeds. My mother is still having, and she keeps some for replanting. And these are the things that the professor was talking about. You now want to start a radio. I was in Kenya. The first struggle after the railway from Mombasa was what we did carry. An order was given that all cargo coming from Mombasa must come by railway. The railway said, please, wait a minute. We bought trucks, some of them on loans. You must buy all of them for us to begin loading your cargo on your railway. So many, may I have 100, may I have this? Eventually, I don't know how they sorted it, but when Ruto came back, you remember the first thing he did, he said, let people do what they want, because under Kenyatta, cargo was supposed to leave Mombasa on railway, and it was killing the business of Mombasa, who had invested in. So you need to think, when you tell them to think about this thing, they think you're a bad man, you don't wish Uganda good. For them, they are planning, they are on sky, they are in heaven. If you give me that budget of Musasis, first of all, I'll reduce it, because I have seen the old things. I haven't looked at the full details. Today I was looking at the presidency in the morning. You still have Museveni with 136 billion for donation. Makerere University is operating at 40%. Usitema is at 19% in terms of human resource. When you read the Bank of Uganda, when you read the World Bank, they are telling you that the productivity level of Ugandan children who are in school, the productivity level, 10 years from now is going to be at 39%. The global, the world average is about 50%. Why? Busitema, the university, staffing, 19%. Makerere, about 49%. And they will come here, science, science, science. Science doesn't mean entering a class where there is a laboratory. It means many other things. But NRM is very good at speaking. When Musasis begins to speak, you will think we are going to be a developed economy next week, because he will take enablers, he will tell you now this, you say these guys, they have now hit it. So otherwise, I think, because first of all, the people who are involved in these things are intelligent, from Musasis to Gobi to, they are very intelligent people, but they don't make the decision. The decisions are made by a politician. That's the point he was telling you. Because if you read the law, you're supposed to make, the law guides you. The budget must be a document based on sound analysis and macroeconomic forecast. Do they follow that? In fact, the budget framework paper, I think, in my view, is the document that follows the law. But the moment you bring that, parliament must be, because they, as I say, they represent people. These senior 6 dropouts, some of them have even cheated results, that they are now the ones making a budget and increasing it. You have had technocrats with knowledge. They have told you the budget should be 69 trillion in the budget framework paper. And then you bring it in an NRM caucus full of people whose experience is attending a funeral. And they are the ones who are now telling you, grow it. Then they go somewhere. They have said, grow it, and they grow and bring 84. And it's a budget process.
Thank you.